do this. I mean, if we
What's going on, car guys and car gals? It's Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
Frelin Art, subprime hero.
And we are over here with an alumni from the Car Guy Coffee Cafe who has been on this show once or twice or thrice. But we are so excited to be able to have the one,
the only, Scott Davis.
And happy National
High Five Day. That's right.
Is that true? Is that a real thing?
That's a real thing. That's happening. There's
It's
a
a
lot
thing.
of those things these days. I don't know. So we got to look them up. There, you go to Google and there's a million different things going on today. Just so you know, today's an amazing day for high fives, for anything. But most importantly, we got Scott Davis in the cafe.
That's right.
Over here at the event, at the Kain event. Man, it's been amazing. This workshop it's been phenomenal. We're here at the Marriott City Center. It's a bigger event than he normally hosts. But man, I love the space, actually. I love the way it feels. It's still not too big to where we can still feel like we're all included. And I like that a lot. I actually like the way that the booths were set up this year better than they were the years prior.
Oh, it was great. It's a great conference. I love it. I love coming. And yes, way better setup than last year. No question.
It was, you're not in a corner. That's what it felt like last year. You know, and I loved it. It was still great. And I'm not trying to dog it, but having this perspective of this, you're like, never go back. This is it. This is the way to go.
Right.
And I absolutely love the way it's set up.
There he is.
It's been great. The man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Kain right there, you know, and then his amazing staff. They've been in here running around like chickens with their heads cut off, trying to facilitate every one of these amazing car people.
And they're doing a masterful job. I mean, they've done a masterful
They really do.
job.
And speaking of this event, you know, I know you come often. What makes you come to this one?
Well, I mean, first and foremost, David, right? I mean,
Amen to
there's
that.
no one like him.
Mhm.
No.
Secondly, this is maybe the most intimate event that you'll ever attend. You make friends here. I mean, Jake, as you guys know, Jake, my son, has come 2 straight years. And there's about 25 people that he knew from last year. It's just great. These are opportunities to dig a little bit deeper than you normally get in a normal trade show. The other thing is we're not here really to sell, but the attitude here, the vendors and the dealers are partners, and there are conversations had, and David has a good attitude with that. It's great all the way around.
For a vendor
That is it.
that does go to plenty of conferences, what is it that David does specifically to make sure that vendors do get their time, so that it's not just us saying it? We've said it a lot, but you've seen a lot of things, and we love your opinion and the way that you see things happening in the industry. You're so straightforward about things, but you're also ridiculously ethical. And with that, that's again why you get selected by somebody like David to be at an event like this.
That's right.
But what is it that David does that's specific to David or to the Kain event that cultivates that intimacy, but make sure that vendors get the love too?
I mean, first of all, he says it, he lives it. He sets it up so the dealers have to interact with the vendors. A lot of conferences, They just don't want that. They make you pay sponsorships, and then they have private rooms for the dealers that you're not allowed to interact with them on. We all know we depend on great dealers to work with. Dealers depend on vendors to help run their businesses better.
Absolutely.
And it's just obvious and upfront here, and it's great.
It is.
There's like a almost like a bingo card, right? Or
Yeah.
something like there's a little flash card that everybody has to go through and get checked off. How does that work?
Yeah, they've got a dot, and they've got to stop by every booth, and a lot of people do things like that. The big difference is he says to win the giveaway prizes, you have to go there. But guys, these are here because they're great vendors, and you should interact with them.
Mm-hmm.
It all rolls downhill. It starts with David, and
I'm into that.
So
it is, and it does start with David. David starts the pace every event. He comes up on the stage. He always opens it up. He tells the people what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, and he sticks to it. And he's honest and he's true. But what I love is that the people that, like, to Lou's point, and you're talking about you and the value that you bring, you're such a straight person. But what I can tell you is this: your business, Volley, it's a great product, man, and it's something that's phenomenal that I know of tons of people that are using it, tons of businesses that use it. And I know that's something that you're very proud of too, but the reason why you're here is because you fit right in the landscape here. You are somebody that other businesses here can actually reach out to. It's not just about you talking to the dealers. It's also the other vendors that are here. They can actually work with you and collab with you. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I love that you talked about Jake.
Mm-hmm.
He's an awesome young man.
Thank you.
You should be very proud of him. I love him so much to the point where, like, it makes me super, like, wishful and hopeful about me and my son one day, right? I love seeing that relationship that you two have, and he's dynamite. He's got a huge future in this industry, and his personality is phenomenal, but he's building relationships here.
Yeah,
that's what this is about. I'm seeing a sign over here to our left that says welcome clients and friends, and that is it right there. This is where it's about. We're friends here. All of us are here for a reason, and there's a purpose, and that energy is a certain frequency that we're all on. And when we get together, that frequency gets even stronger. We could break walls down together, and I think that's a beautiful thing. I think we are doing that in this industry. I think the conversations that are happening inside that keynote room over there have been great industry changers, and I think that people need to listen. It's what's going on now. It's been going on in other industries, but it's going on now here, and it's becoming in the forefront from the way that AI is being used, the way that digital advertising is being used, the way that we could focus on exactly what the customer experience needs to be is huge, and it's a big integral part, and so is your business. So explain that to people, what you do exactly with Volley, in case they have never seen you on the show before.
Sure. Want to come back to my Jake and then my other kids too. I work with a couple of them. Mm-hmm. Geez, I mean, I feel very rich to be able to do so. Conventional wisdom is, you can't have romances at work. You shouldn't work with family. Obviously, it's a personal risk. Mm-hmm. Most things in life, conventional wisdom is usually wrong. Mm-hmm. There's that old saying, if conventional wisdom is right, we'd all be billionaires with perfect abs. Hey. So I would welcome, as you guys get going with your son when he graduates, it's a risk worth taking. Volley is BDC software. So it's an all-in-one solution that manages their data, helps them organize their workflow every day. And then it's the in-house for dealers that want to do their BDC in-house.
Yes.
They use this platform to call, email, and SMS their customers.
That's right.
It's an amplifier. We help them evolve their BDC so they make their agents a lot more productive.
That's it. We
help eliminate a lot of the manual work for managers. We do have 30 automotive call centers that run their business. Not all dealers want to make their calls. I would welcome them to reach out to some of these call centers who do a great job.
There is, and I know a lot of the ones that you're tied with, and they're phenomenal. They do great jobs. They definitely do what they preach. They practice what they preach, I should say, and I love it. And it's a big deal. That's something that's important. Having your product inside those places is what makes them so efficient. Honestly, they all do a good job, but by having that, it speeds up. It can take the time from the normal dials that can take a whole day to do to just a couple hours. And that's what I love about your product. It speeds it up and it makes it more efficient for everyone involved and very trackable. And that's a big deal. I think that's a great I think that's a great thing. The very first time I heard about your product, when we were at Digital Deal, I think we heard it before Digital Dealer, but learned more about it during that time. I was blown away. I was like, man, this is phenomenal. It's going to be everywhere. So it's great to see it evolve and keep moving and keep growing. And And like to your point, having your son join you and other people, it's just been great. And your staff has always been great. I love them all. So
Yeah, well,
I'm lucky.
Yeah,
you
well,
are.
you fused together with you
It
and
starts from the
Jake.
top, my friend.
It is great.
That's why.
So since we don't have Jake on here, so Jake is representing a completely different product, right? But it's a complementer to Volley. Tell us a little bit
Dealer
more about
identity.
that.
Yeah. The government had passed some regulations that the carriers were under obligation to follow. And if you've ever had potential spam on your phone, the dealers have that problem with their lines. And the dealers are not making unwanted calls,
Right.
but they're getting unfairly labeled. We had to solve this problem for our customers. We bundled it into Volley. We sell it separately. Jake runs that. It's funny. They say potential spam on your phone,
Right?
Because they don't know if it's actual spam. Dealers, of course, they're calling on web leads. They're calling you because you're due for an oil change or a recall. They're not making unwanted calls. It's a terrible problem. And
Yes.
so yeah, that's what dealer identity is.
And it
Jake
takes
runs
that out, right?
Yeah.
It's where you're no longer showing that way, right?
Yeah, we verify with all the carriers who the dealer is, and we stipulate the reasons why they're making calls and why they're not unwanted calls.
Right.
And we submit all their phone numbers, and all of those go through a different track and don't get labeled.
That's so awesome.
Yeah.
That is so awesome.
That's huge. And so dealers, consider that, okay? BDC managers, those that are operating where your dials matter. Now, Volley itself gives the potential for, say, so I'm coming to work today. I'm coming to hustle. I am going to bang out as many calls as I possibly can. I'm going to give everybody the quality in each conversation. What does Volley do in being able to help make sure, like, how many can I probably get to inside of a day? What's the potential?
I mean, it depends. It's not robo-dialing. Everything is manually initiated. But if you're doing service BDC and you're taking a lot of inbound calls, we like to benchmark the customers on if they receive 70 inbound calls per agent, we want them to make at least 140 outbound attempts. And with dealer identity, you're going to connect with on service retention about 35% of those folks. And you can benchmark to scheduling appointments with 30% of those. So that's how you're going to grow your business.
I love that you know those numbers, and that's the stat, folks. I'm telling you, he's right on the money on that.
And by the way, I do want to say we love what we do, and we know we can help people. But even if you don't have Volley or you don't have time to make the process changes, benchmark a inbound outbound stat and measure to it, and you'll grow your business, because it is very simple.
Stats.
100 outbound attempts should lead to 32 to 35 conversations on service retention, which should lead to 7 to 9 appointments, 7 on the low and 9 on the high. So that's something.
Yeah,
write that down. I want you guys to rewind that if you have to. Write that down and start to look at what yours looks like. Figure out where you can fix what's going on in your calls. Like a lot of times by looking at that data, if those numbers aren't where they're supposed to be, you know where you need to focus your training, where you need to focus your energy or your accountability. So get into that. Knowing your data, like he just spilled out for y'all, you don't have to use this product to know that data. That data is there for you to use anywhere. So use that, figure that out, get that math in there, and make sure that your team's running efficiently. And if it's not, find people in places that need to do that. So,
I can't answer a question correctly. I left out half your question. If you're on sales BDC and you're not taking inbound calls, you're going to make about 42 attempts an hour. So, and it's all, and none of it's manually, none of it's a robo dial. We just eliminate all the time in between all the efforts they have to do.
Right. And that's what you want out of a product that just removes the friction or any of the other jump throughs and hurdles that it takes to get the job done. And Volley does help make sure to volley that up for you, to ollie that oop for you and get things going. Now, for Scott, and seeing the things that have been brewed up inside of the industry and the things that are cooking right now, what's some of the most exciting and most pivotal stuff that's right here on the horizon that we're walking into now?
Oh man, I don't know. I mean, I really look at software a little bit differently than, I'm in the software business, so I don't really feel like software is going to solve every dealer's problems. We have all sorts of people claiming, geez, you're going to plug this in, it's going to automatically do this. You don't need your people, and we're going to take credit for half your cars. When I look at software, it is meant. And by the way, all of these automatic things aren't going to help bad processes. So
Amen to
what
that.
I think, what I see that is most important, and a lot of them are really good tools. I've seen some at this show. You guys should look at who exhibited, but they are meant to amplify good performers and people who have good
Yes.
habits
Come
and
on.
who make thoughtful interactions with their customers and who care about them. I mean, that's so that really didn't answer your question. I don't like a lot of the messaging that comes out because I think that it's a little bit off base. I mean, even I saw some awesome digital platforms that are here that, you know, they help track who's online and do it, but they're still not meant to just set it and forget it. They'll be way better if they have someone who's a champion at the store.
That's the key
You
to
gotta
all
have
of
a
it.
champion.
That is the
Gotta
key
have
to
a
all
champion.
everything out there. And I love that you said that and that you can admit that. Like you're so right. There's a lot of software companies that claim that it's a set it, forget it, it's going to work. It's not true. You know, so why do that? Because you're going to give them disappointment, which means that they're going to cut you off. They're going to quit using your product, and they're not going to tell anyone about it. So let's just be honest with them, because they don't need all that. They just need the truth. You tell them the truth. Well, how your product's going to benefit. Make sure they have people in place that can help make sure that it works. That's the key to everything. But it does start with leadership. The store has to believe in it. So if you're an owner and you bring a product in, you got to make sure your general manager, your sales manager, all of them are on board. Because if they're not, they're the ones who are actually going to be keeping them accountable. And if they're not holding anyone accountable, nothing works.
Yeah, that's the hard part. Communication is, I mean, as we're growing pretty rapidly. I'm a huge offender with Liza and her team on communication and such. Communication is the hard part. It's hard for dealers. It's hard for people like Volley and of course you guys as well.
And I mean, and
Everyone
communication is the key, and that's all of this is designed to reduce the screens on our communication. And to your point, even with all of these things ticking, booming, clicking, coming into place, you still have to make sure that the person sitting in front of the customer knows how to communicate. And it all can fall
that's a
apart
big part, yeah.
right there, right? To where, like you said, so many vendors would try to take credit for all the cars you sold, but it's that sales pro that's in front of them. They can either burn the up, close the up, work them, whatever it takes. But it all comes together with everybody, and no one piece can take credit for all of the greatness that's happening. But we can't do this alone either. We have to have good partners that we trust, good technology that we not just trust, but we utilize.
That's right.
We put it to work for us, but it can't replace the person behind the product working it and making sure that they're bringing themselves excellently to the work day every single day. Completely agree with that. Now, Scott, heard you doing some rhyming before. Heard you dropping some.
What?
Yeah. Heard you doing some rhyming before. Heard him drop some of that Sugar Hill Gang action out here.
Oh.
What did you think about the band last night?
They were great.
Right?
I loved them.
I do too.
Doing Stevie Wonder and a few of those Michael Jackson.
great.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
I love the drummer when he was particularly getting into it and he was he was leaning back. It was great.
You can see it like getting that funk in there. Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that. It was
Yeah.
a great night. I enjoyed the music too. And, I definitely love a band that just can really just play well together. And it was like a little 3-piece and they were just jamming out. Well, actually, it was a 4-piece.
Yeah, it was 4-piece. Yeah, the little tambourine.
Yeah,
little...
she was in there doing it right, but no, it was amazing. It was a good atmosphere. It was a great ambiance. They didn't play too loud. It was just the right sound so we could still communicate and talk. I had a blast last night.
It was a great night.
I had a great time at last year's event. This year's event to me was even more special. I really felt, I feel like even more part of the family this time, and like to your point when you talked about Jake, he came here not knowing anyone last year. Now he's here and he knew 25 people out the rip. It's the way I felt this year too. I mean, I know a lot of people in the vendor world, but a lot of these dealers, a lot of these people that come here, I never see. They probably only come to this event, so it's pretty neat to see them here.
Yeah, this is the event for people that don't want to go to a big event, right? But they want to get a big event bag worth of info.
Yes, that's it.
Direction.
That's right.
And relationships, because that's again still going to be the best way for you to go forward, is that you become rich in relationships. And like you said, feeling very rich right now, especially being able to see and experience and do this side by side with your son. That's a blessing.
You made a great point. So, when people look at this event next year, come because the content, just because of David's muscle, not that he would admit that, he gets really incredible content.
Yes.
Day 3, I heard immediate amazing presentations from NCM, from Impel.
Yeah.
It was just great. I mean, that's the last day when most conferences are packing up.
No, and it's people learning still.
It's totally worth hearing the speakers at this.
I agree with
Heck
you
yeah.
100%.
Curated to the T, folks. We absolutely love it. Well, you know what we need to do before we wrap this show up. For one, got to make sure that the whole world remembers that our friend Scott Davis and Volley is 100%
CGC approved.
That's right, everybody.
Let's go.
You know the deal. And with that, we got to
Wait a minute. I've been practicing this, so I'm going to do better this time. Okay, go ahead.
He's ready for it. He's ready for it. He's ready to drop some
Love it.
F-bombs. I know what
love
he's
it.
talking about. We ready to do this. So let's get ready to forgive, focus, fly. On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Forgive. Focus.
Focus.
Fly.
Fly.
And
Okay.
keep growing. You got it, brother. You got it. You
There
did
we
great.
go. Nailed
You
that.
did it
Heck
great,
yeah.
man. Don't.
Okay, next time. I promise.
And it will be. Man, we appreciate
there will
you for
be a
being
next
here,
time.
man. I'm Frelin Arts, the subprime hero.
And I'm Lou Ramirez, the Car Guy. And you've been brewing solutions on the Car Guy Coffee Podcast with the one,
The only Scott Davis.
That's right, everybody. We will see you soon. Still got some more brews coming to you.